Hi, folks. You are watching and listening to a very special edition of Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media. All of our channels and networks. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California. That guy out there is
Todd Mayville in Colorado.
in Colorado, which means red in
Yes.
Spanish. Not that that's here or there, but uh, we have been kind of baffled by this brand. And I'll tell you why. This is a fairly new brand on the market called Caleon, which means exceeding expectations. And as I told Todd previously, I am only here to have my expectations exceeded.
Exactly.
But sadly, that didn't happen in the Reposado expression.
Nope.
Nope. So this is the Añejo expression of Caleon. Again, a stock bottle. I've seen this bottle with other brands on the label. Kind of a simple label. It's okay too. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm all right. Simplicity is,
Absolutely.
the as who was it that Michelangelo said simplicity is the epitome of elegance.
Yeah.
I think something like that.
Something like that.
Maybe it wasn't Michelangelo. Maybe it was Gucci. I don't know. I'm just paraphrasing. But this is Caleon. This is the Añejo, the last of our line that we're tasting. We fell in love with the Blanco. The
Yeah.
Blanco is stellar. Blanco, I think, is stellar. This is the Añejo. We're just gonna, you know what? We're just gonna pour this sucker and
Yep.
and
Let's just get
and
into it.
and go from there, and then give you all the ins and outs in case you haven't seen the rest of the reviews, which is okay. You don't have to.
No.
Maybe you're just an Añejo guy. That's cool. I'm all right with that. Or gal. All right.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure that I give everybody equal time. Oh God. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, party.
Here
Yeah,
we go. We're
party.
having a party. I'm gonna pour mine in a Glencairn, the same as Todd is using.
Yep.
I got lingering bubbles. It pours nicely. I mean, I'm not
Does.
gonna lie, it's visually beautiful to
Yeah.
look.
I put a lot in
Both
that
the
glass. Oopsies.
Añejo and the Reposado, gorgeous, nice color. I think Todd brought up the fact that it could be the much more used barrels
Yeah.
for the Repo.
Oops.
Um,
Got a little heavy on that pour. Whoops.
yeah, well, I didn't go that heavy.
I did by mistake.
Well,
I'm at home, so it's okay.
how do you know it's a mistake? Well, I'm at home
Right.
too. I'm not driving.
Yeah,
You're
see?
snowed in probably, but
Oh
but
boy.
the Glencairn and the Jarrito are made by the same company, Stotzel, which is an over 200-year-old crystal company, as famous as Real. They're just competing families. I love the legs and tears on the Reposado, and this one is doing the same thing,
Yeah.
Todd.
Does
Now,
that
it's
really
still
well.
lighter for an añejo, though, right?
Yeah, it is.
I think you're
Definitely
right.
some
I think the barrel they're using is kind of
it's
an
got
old.
to be used. Well used barrels. Just so light.
Yeah, this one's a kind of a light gold.
Yeah.
It's a shade darker than the straw color that we got from
Yeah.
the Reposado.
Doesn't say how long it's been in the barrels though.
And that's the funny, interesting thing. It doesn't tell you
Yeah.
how long, and they don't have to tell you, but
No.
if you know the rules, the Reposado can be in there one day before it's got to be pulled and called an añejo. All right.
Yep. Yep.
I would say anywhere from 8 to 9 months for that last repo, but I could be wrong. We don't know. We're just surmising
Yeah.
using the rules and regulations of the CRT. I do love the legs and tears on it. This is beautiful,
Yeah.
and to me that is the influence of the barrel.
Oh, for sure.
Although maybe if I thought better of it, it could be something else, but we'll
I
see.
don't know. Like you can see I'm giving it some nose and
Yeah. I will say maybe it's just my Glencairn, but the nose is a little bit less offensive than the Reposado
I'm getting a face full of sugar.
with the
Like
Rep, right?
with the añejo right now.
Oh, right now. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, maybe it hasn't opened up for me like it has for you, but
I got a good chunk of my glass here, so That could be
I
part
like
of
how
it
they
too.
said it's a good chunk. It's not even an Obama pour. It's
No,
like
it's a chunk.
it's a chunk.
I got a chunky pour.
That's one I'll have to use with you from now on. Whenever I make a descriptor with Alex, when we see a Blanco and it's just bright, we go, oh, it's
Yeah,
shiny, So
yeah,
for you and me, it's going to be, hey, was that a chunky pour?
it's a chunky pour. That's a chunk.
Now, see, for me, it's not as offensive as the Repo was. It's actually, for me, it's actually tolerable. Maybe that's just right now that it hasn't opened up enough for me, but right now it's actually tolerable.
Like I'm getting more baking spices now that I've kind of swirled it a few times. But
Right.
my initial whiff of it was just like pure sugar.
Yeah, it was very reminiscent of the Reposado.
Yeah.
And that's why we kind of went, uh-oh. If you
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
if you haven't seen the Reposado review, go back and watch that first. Then you'll
yeah.
understand where the hell we are.
Yeah.
You need GPS to follow me and Todd. So
Right?
turn on your phones. It's right now it's less offensive. It
Yeah.
hasn't opened up, and it's about the same pour that I've given all three of
Well,
my
this is definitely a
expressions.
heavier pour.
Again, visually stunning. I can't.
Yeah.
And again, there are two things that coming out of this distillery that are very consistent. One, that Blancos are always stellar, except for one that I've had. And then the Repos and Añejos or aged spirits are beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
They're just nice legs and tears, beautiful colors. And they're visually stunning. Every single one of them. Especially the last two that I've had were extra añejos, were visually stunning, just gorgeous to look at,
Yeah.
and
It's beautiful.
surprisingly pretty good.
And it's
I thought
not like
I thought I was saying I saw a glimmer of hope, and then
yeah.
I had this reposado, and it just ugh.
I mean, I will say, like, now that it's kind of swirling it more and warming it up, it's like it's less butterscotch for me now than it was.
Yeah,
Less sugary. I'm getting
it's
more of this.
it's more mellow. It's mellowed out
Yeah.
finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost a much more naturally. It's like it's more
Yeah.
natural to me.
Yeah, for sure.
And I will say that once you've taken a whiff of that reposado, it's almost like if you once you've tasted it, you really got to cleanse your palate, because if you
Yeah.
don't, it's gonna the residue will cloud your opinion on the following expression,
Yeah.
which is why we do a lot of rinsing, and I've been doing a lot of spitting all
Yeah.
afternoon. So
Little hint of orange in the middle.
more substantial alcohol than I've had in the first two.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Again, not a bad thing.
No.
I look for that. The
Right.
alcohol is essential for presenting things up.
Yeah. All right. Now, of course, my big how much agave am I going to taste? Because that's always my
Well,
thing.
yeah, I
Even in
know.
an añejo, right?
And you've said that from day one, and I
Yep.
agree with you. That's so. Let's dive in. Let's see
Yep.
if we're getting any agave. So here we go.
Here we go.
I gotta say, it's less cloying.
Yep.
Repo.
Yep.
The Repo, and that's one thing I didn't say about the Reposado. It didn't come up, but it was cloying.
It was very clean.
Yeah. This one, this one's a bit more bitter on the back end. Have you noticed that?
Yep. Very definitely. Still not getting as much agave as I'd like.
Trying to rinse my palate just to make sure I get what's left of that Repo out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I noticed there was a much more bitterness. Not a bad thing.
No.
Actually, considering what we had in the Reposado, the bitterness is rather enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was almost like, oh wow, it's almost like real barrel,
Right.
Um,
Much more spice. Like the baking spices are here. which is nice,
Yep.
but just like there's a little agave, but I want more agave.
Yeah,
Even in Añejo, it still should be recognizable as like, oh, it's an agave spirit.
well, yeah, you want to say, well, this is tequila, not
Yeah,
it's not anything but, it's not
right.
like, oh, this is rum or whatever,
Yeah, yeah. It reminds me of
Now that it's opening up, the nose is reminiscent of the Repo, but it's
yeah,
toned down.
yeah, yeah. Right.
None of the other thing that if you want more agave in there, you should be able to sense some of the beautiful notes on the nose that we
Uh-huh.
got in the Blanco. And they're not there. They're just
No.
still overpowered by whatever this is.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to dive in one more.
Yeah.
I think I've cleansed my palate enough, so here we go. I'm sorry, folks. I try not to show this on camera. It's not very pretty, but
You know what it reminds me
the
of?
the cinnamon spice is much more heightened.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep. A
I
little bit of
that
nutmeg.
yeah.
It reminds me a little. I'm getting a coffee. So earlier today, I had a Werther's coffee caramel, and this is reminding me of that. That little bit of bitter and sweet and the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. It,
Yeah.
it is much more bitter on the back end. Not um I don't want to say like tobacco bitter, but like maybe like a bitter chocolate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Would you go
Yep.
that far?
I would. Bitter
I would.
chocolate, black
Yeah,
coffee.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So the notes are for us, the notes are much more natural
Yep.
than they were in the Reposado. The Reposado felt a lot of it felt enhanced.
Yes. Yes,
Like
it did.
like the Repo was on PEDs.
Yeah.
Performance enhancing whatever the D stands for.
Yeah.
um I gotta try one more time. I'm not hating the añejo,
No.
but I should like it more.
Right. Especially for the price of it.
Oh yeah. Did you look
Yeah.
at the price on that? What
Do you
are we
want to
looking
know?
at? Gotta be over $100, right?
Nope. 99.99.
Oh, just under
Just
$100.
under 100.
Such a deal.
Under a hundo.
Hundo, get a penny back.
Right?
um, you know what? If you're gonna I would recommend you go use another brand that comes out of this
Yeah.
distillery for you can save yourself 20-30 bucks on every expression, and it's the same
Same stuff.
juice. I don't even want to I don't want to
I
for a
know.
hundred bucks
Yeah.
really for a hundo.
Yep. I mean, I already have thought of my favorite Añejo tequila is definitely not I'm pretty sure it's not $100.
No, uh,
So
but I will say there's more depth, there's more character, there's more natural depth and more natural
yes.
character in this añejo.
Yep.
I think you know what? Skip the reposado, and if you want to pay for the blanco, what they're charging, and you want to pay for this añejo,
Yep.
skip the repo, or you're gonna not want any of it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna you
Totally
just
agree.
walk away. Um, I'm actually it's less offensive. I should like it more, but I don't hate it.
Yep. Yep.
But it's not. There's no consistency. That's what's weird. Why did
Yeah.
the reposado taste like this? Because you know
Yeah.
what, the repo would have been really cool with all these
Yeah.
characteristics.
Yeah. I just did a quick check of my favorite Añejo, and it's a bit less, and it's a yeah. We'll talk about it off camera.
Okay, all right.
I don't want to say it here and get everybody in trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, they're not sponsored by anyone, folks.
Yeah. Yeah, this is better than Repo for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, I can't, in all honesty, I can't nominate it as a brand of
No.
promise. I think that the whole line, if it gave me more agave characteristics
Yeah.
as you and I look for,
Uh-huh.
I would have said, yeah, I think they misstepped. They took a misstep in the repo, but the añejo is stellar.
Yeah.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
Um, but it's not quite there for
Not
me.
quite. Yep.
Um, yeah, I can't. So we're not gonna, you know.
Yeah.
Anything else now you're the cocktail guy. I will say that maybe not for the price. Maybe if it was priced a little bit cheaper,
Yeah.
it would be really good in cocktails.
Yeah. I mean, a tequila old fashioned be perfect for that kind of a
Oh
thing.
yeah. Yeah,
You know.
yeah. I think that there's enough characteristics, and like you said, with the reposado, you'd have to throw in some chocolate bitters or something just to
Something,
balance
yeah,
it
some
out.
bitter to balance that out.
And this has that bitter chocolate
Yep.
on the back end,
Yep.
but you know.
Yeah. For $100, I'm not sure I make it too.
No, and
I
again,
like
let
of
me
it.
give you the ins and outs in case we hadn't mentioned it, but it's NOM 1438. It is Destiladora del Valle, also known as Casa Maestri. They are, yeah, they're known or notorious for, it's one of the better known maquiladoras. Apparently, they're calling themselves the most awarded distillery, uh, tequila distillery, and that may or may not be the case. I think there's one other one that probably would refute that. And the other one, their tequilas are not known to be this cloying or this sweet.
Mm.
But anyway, the Blancos again, they just follow a certain pattern. The Blancos from any of this distillery, they're stellar. But then they kind of loses its translation in the Repo, Añejo, and Extra Añejo.
Mm.
And of late, I have noticed that there are some Extra Añejos that are not so bad. Almost one, I didn't want to like it, but I liked it. Had to nominate it brand of promise, and surprising. That's why I said there's a glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
This distillery, and then they give us this stuff,
Yeah.
and then for the price,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yep.
I just there are other, um, like I said, there are other brands coming out of that distillery that I could recommend that are at least $20 cheaper.
Yeah.
Save you like, $60 across the board or more.
Uh-huh.
Same juice. It's the same
Yeah.
juice, different name,
Yep.
So I anyway, that's my take. I think I got nothing else to say about this brand. Todd, do you got anything else extra you
I got
want?
nothing.
I got okay. I got it. So there you go, folks. That's our take on Caleon Tequila. Let me show you the bottle again. If you folks are having it, if you've bought it, if you've had it, maybe you like it. What are you doing with it? How are you serving it? Are you making it cocktails? I mean, for the price, for $100?
Don't do it.
100. Let me show you what $100 looks like, folks. Let me show you here, in case for those of you, I know that the situation economically is tough. Check this out. Okay. Real $100 right there. That's Ben Franklin. Is this worth this, Benjamin? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think my forefather would want that for me or for you. Um, but that's our take. If you've had it and you're watching us on YouTube or you're listening to us on the podcast, tell us what you're doing with it. Are you mixing it? Are you smoking cigars with it? I couldn't even pair a cigar with this.
No.
Honestly. I mean, I probably could, but it would have to be a much lighter cigar. And
Yeah.
I just do you do cigars, Todd?
Once in a while, yeah. I sure
Okay,
do.
I wasn't sure. I
Yeah.
know several of our TJs do. Um, I mean, you try to find a saving grace for this, but again, the information doesn't tell us how long it's being rested. We just know that as an añejo, it's got to be a year or more. That's it.
Yep.
So if you know the rules, you know where this is at. I'm thinking they went over a year on this one
Probably. But
because
yeah,
there
it's
are
like,
barrel influences
yeah.
on the flavor profile, but not enough for me to spend $100 on it. That's what I'll
Not
tell
so
you.
much. Not so much.
So anyway, that's our take. That's
Yep.
Caleon Tequila. I'm Mike Morales here, Southern California. That guy out there is.
Todd, Mayville in Colorado.
You have been watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media, all of our channels and networks. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest. Anybody out there still using Pinterest? Yeah.
Or MySpace. There we go.
MySpace. Yeah, we're on MySpace. We have our own wallpaper and everything. It's really cool. It's got sparkles. It's got sparkles. Yeah, I know. Do you know who the owner of MySpace is? Believe it or not, Justin
No.
Timberlake bought MySpace.
He bought it?
He owns it. But then again, this is the guy who owns, he owns 501 tequila that he gave back to Sauza because it was so bad. Or 801, whatever the area code is for Tennessee. I don't know what 501, 801. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, so there you go. And so that's our take. If you're on Facebook, if you're on MySpace, you're not going to find us. You might find mine, but it's dead. Whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.